There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Burning Crowns, a Burning Wheel role-playing game campaign. How's it going? I'm Eric, your game master. We have, if you have been watching the previous VODs, you probably see a new face or slightly new face. If you saw our one shot. So as we said last week, last week was Michael's last week, and we've got a new replacement. Our good friend Daniel / Niren, Niren from chat and everything. Welcome back. Hello. Hi.
Thank you very much. It's lovely to be back.
Yeah. How's it going? How are you?
Oh, is busy enough of qualification?
Yeah.
I'm writing the masters presently, which means that I have time for this and nothing else.
Yeah. I have a couple friends who did that grind, and so thank you for spending your free time with us. I really appreciate that. That's super awesome. Hi. Cool. And how about you tell us about who you're playing today?
So I will be playing the role of Mason. Mason is a mercenarily inclined purveyor of the arcane.
Yes.
That is as much as I'm comfortable with saying, because a kind of a shtick with this character is that they don't really know a whole lot about themselves in a philosophical sense.
Yes, mysteries and stuff is a big deal.
Thanks, Kelsa. I'm not self-conscious enough already when my hair is a bit of a. You gotta call it out. Thanks, EFF.
Yeah. Speaking of calling people out, Wreckage, how are you?
Hi, everybody. My lamp broke, so now not only is my hair not up to EricVulgaris levels of basic appropriate control, but I am lit poorly and from only one direction by the sun, which will change its position in the sky over the course of play. So, look forward to that.
I thought they fixed that.
Yeah, no.
Last patch.
No, they've decided that it's a feature and not a bug.
Bummer.
So we're gonna keep having the sun moving in the sky. I am Dr. Wreckage, and I GM on people's channels, and I play on people's channels. And you can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Wreckage. I recently did a survey of all of the people who role play on Twitch and compared followers that they have on Twitter. And I was going to do that to talk about how I have none. But instead, what I discovered was that Aracito has none. And that's not okay. Aracito is a great RPG artist, and you can commission him, and he has done a lot of work for Arthur in particular, and Arthur's games in particular. And I think it's a tragedy that he has only 220 followers on Twitter, well below what anybody else has.
I've been following him.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling the people out in the world
people
that
follow
this
him.
is a tragedy. He does.
They need to be told.
He has actual talent, and so should be followed on Twitter, where that talent is displayed.
It's really true.
Next person.
He's also extremely good at Overwatch.
Yes, he is. He's very, very good at Overwatch.
So keep that in mind.
I'm very mediocre at Overwatch.
Speaking of people who are
You know what you're
mediocre
not
at
mediocre
Overwatch-
at? Friendship.
No,
Aww.
So how's it going, Sam? What's up with you, my friend?
it's good. Not a lot is up.
Whoa.
I had a good time playing Mouse Guard on AP's channel on Friday. You should check that out. I'm guessing it's going to be on YouTube soon, or maybe already is on YouTube.
Been on YouTube for 2 days.
Yeah, Mouse Guard.
It's been on YouTube for 2 days.
Oh, I wish I remembered that. I was gonna watch it last night. That's
okay. I watched your new show.
I almost got to kill a weasel, but it ran away from me.
Weasels are really hard to kill. Awesome.
And
What's so cool? So what's unique about this Mouse Guard game? Is it for all audiences? Do you curse?
For children. No cursing.
It's for children. Interesting. Are you trying? How many? So cool. So tell us more about this Mouse Guard game. So takes place in the regular old mouse territories, like David Peterson, like the whole shebang, like based on. Have you guys for prep? Have you guys actually read the comics and stuff, or is it just you guys are just playing?
I have not read the comics, but I'm along for the ride. Some of the people, I think Frazier has read the comics. Does Kelsa maybe has familiarity. I don't know. She can probably confirm in chat whether she's read them or not. But AP is definitely putting a fair amount in there. So I definitely am. I'm experiencing the lore, which is good.
Yeah.
I might have to go read the comics.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for putting on that game, AP. Mouse Guard, in my opinion, is woefully under-respected in terms of role-playing game systems.
It's
Thank
fun.
you for doing
It's a
that.
good game.
It's a brilliant game. It is criminally underused.
And then yesterday, my Burning Wheel game broke apart when one of the players ended up attacking two dwarves in their city, and then there's a fight between two players. And so now we're revamping as orcs. So that'll
Woo!
be good.
Nice. An orc game sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
Nice.
And yeah, that's not a stream game, though, unfortunately. So
I understand.
There is
Not
too
every-
little hatred available on the bots.
Lovely. AP. Apps.
No. We're just talking about things. I
How
want
you
to talk
been?
about a new show that I watched yesterday involving EricVulgaris. It's called Pendragon, The Fall of Uther, Book 1.
That's what book 1 is called,
About
yeah.
it. He fucking just showed up and was like, listen, guys, I don't have to have a really well-developed character. I don't need to have good stats. All I need to do is be lucky while rolling dice. And was like, what's up? One of the greatest knights in the realm. Bam, 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 bam. And in 4 rolls, just fucking bowled this dude over. And everyone was like, what's happening? I don't understand what's happening. And then he was like, I'm going to be humble about it. You let me win. And he's like, no, actually, I didn't let you win. You won because you're better than me at this.
Of course.
Bizarre. It was
those are good
bizarre.
vibes.
Dude, I'm literally the epitome of modesty.
You're the epitome of generosity. I'll say that much. You were like, I'm going to lie and try to steal this shit. And then you rolled and you were like, actually, I can't steal it. I can't do this. I already gave it away. I'm the
I know.
worst thief in the world.
I am. Oh, well. I'm too
And
nice.
just remember, because you thought about it, now you have to give confessionals on your rosary.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was going to do that next session. So there's I like that system too. It's got some cool things. It definitely has it's definitely an old system. Like you can feel it. Like the mechanics do get what they accomplish what you're trying to set out to do to make that sort of literary feel, but they're a little janky. They're a little like, okay, all I have is a D20, so how do we make this fun with a D20 instead of being like how can we make this fun? It's like how can we make this fun with just one die?
Have they updated that ever?
Yeah, I mean it's on their
They
fifth.
really-
Greg Stafford made this is he has like 5 editions of that game. It's just roll a D20 and then you have the Price is Right mechanics interesting, but the idea of combat where you just like don't do any damage until someone crits is just like okay.
You can deal damage without critting. You just need to be really
I
big.
think like I see what he's going for though, because
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense with like it's sort of similar to how like Burning Wheel tries to do it with the armor as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Your issue is that the only people you fought so far are knights wearing the heaviest armor available. Trust me, on the random battle tables, you'll be fighting some guy from Ireland with a stick. Fucking murder him. You'll literally just be like, I swipe him with my knife, and they'll be like, well, he doesn't have any armor. He falls over and dies instantly. Good job suppressing the Irish. The Saxons? You think the Saxons bring heavy armor on their tiny boats across the fucking channel? No. They come over in, like, reinforced shirts.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, when you get out the night game and you get in the Saxon repression game, you're going to just be waiting in blood.
Well, that sounds horrifying for my character. My character like hates violence in a way.
I played 18 weeks of that shit, and there were like
Never.
4 major battles that were entire sessions long, and that's part of the Great Pendragon campaign.
Yeah.
So get used to it.
So, Tiny Vulgaris Knight, what will you be doing for career day? I think I'm into Saxon repression. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I mean, those Saxons.
All I want to do is marry up, man. All I want to do is get married.
I've got the
Saxons
grades for
right
Saxon.
across the channel. They keep trying to take all of our things. What we need to do is build a wall to keep them out of Britain.
God. All right. Speaking of which, let's jump into the game, everybody.
Yeah, yes. Speaking of the Saxons invading Britain.
Saxons invading Britain, burning wheel.
Right. So, yeah, let's do this.
Okay, I'm ready. Who's ready? I'm ready. We gotta do bits. Let's do bits.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
So,
I forgot to call it.
who was ready to go and came up with new bits?
I got new bits.
Cool. This is your first time watching Burning Wheel. Burning Wheel behaves kind of like Torchbearer and Mouse Guards, where so far is that you earn experience points, which basically give you kind of like weird inspiration points that you can spend to boost yourself when you need them and when they're appropriate. So, let's talk about beliefs, instincts, and goals.
Only one of mine has changed, but I will restate them all for people who might be new. I have resolved to stay against any odds. I must now take responsibility for the survival of my company and Gress's men. It's time to draw first blood for the cause and inspire men to greatness. Count Swan has acknowledged my place in this expedition. I will endeavor to maintain this status quo until the bandit threat is resolved. And the new one, the hubris of the Stag Lord, is my only advantage. I am in his territory playing his game. My strategy will exploit his low opinion of my abilities, and I will show him how a Goramite overcomes diversity.
Don't you mean adversity?
You know.
I love the idea that he's the one with the hubris.
Thrain says that you are a blade and the world is a soapstone. The bandits have not impressed me, but the Stag Lord has. He will be my soapstone.
I think you're supposed. I think it is adversity. I don't think you actually overcome diversity. I don't think that makes any sense.
I will overcome
That's actually has really, really bad connotations.
All right, adversity. That's fine. It can be used in the other meaning. Those words are technically correct, but we can for everybody's sake of choosing specific words, we will choose adversity.
Yeah. Tice mentions that I should get married to a Skylar sister, which I assume that's what you're referring to Pendragon, and I would absolutely. I've actually been saving up quite a few quotes from the Hamilton soundtrack for various parts.
I want to jump in here.
I got that. I have a bandolier of banter from that.
Last night, Eric jumped on the Zoom call for Winter's Edge and then got up but didn't know his microphone was still on, and he was singing Hamilton songs. I believe it was Skylar Sisters.
Probably.
From his kitchen. I could hear him, and I was like, well, this is good blackmail material right here.
That's not good blackmail. Dude, yeah, of course I do that. That's a good song.
You can't blackmail somebody with something they readily admit to.
Yeah. Boom.
I have beliefs now, if
Yeah.
you want.
Give it to
are
me.
we doing all the way down, beliefs, instincts, and traits?
If you want.
Just cover what's changed. Unless everything has changed, it's probably not necessary.
Okay, only one belief has changed. I'm still trying to figure out who the real bad guy is, as well as get rid of these bandits. And my new belief, obviously won't really come into play until we actually meet this guy, but I figured I would write a belief about the new character anyway. I will feel out this newcomer. If his magics are real, they could be of use in what is to come.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing else changes.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Good beans. How about Count Ronald?
Ronald.
Le Comte Ronaldo.
None of those are how you pronounce his name.
How about Rennie from the block?
Why don't you stick with Count Swan or His Eminence, and we'll go from there.
All right, Count
Ronald
Swan.
Swanee.
As you might remember last time, I finally wiped the board of all my beliefs, and so I must bring out a new wave of beliefs. While Onan goes about this little engagement with the Stag Lord. We need to be prepared for bandit sneak attacks. I will lead my guardsmen out on a patrol route. I am not yet knocking on heaven's door, nor do I need to buy a staircase to heaven, but I am curious what is in this book of avatars. It's time to take a look and see what I can learn. Oleg wants to question why we are here and is afeared that we might stay. Would it be so bad if we did? I will engage him in a debate in front of his countrymen for their hearts and minds, for with them come the land and its people.
That's really good.
Hashtag get wrecked.
Okay. And now let's look over at Mason's beliefs.
All right, so I'm looking at the following beliefs. My master once asked me who I was. I could not think of an answer. Now my master is gone, but the question remains. I've come to this region in the hopes that I can glimpse myself through its cultivation and exploration. First, however, I should make sure I have a roof over my head, food on my table, and coin in my pocket. My second belief is, tale and song is filled with the folly of those who would carry the weight of the world alone. This is the green belt, and I am greener still. I will befriend someone among the local Pathfinders, Outriders, or Rangers, so I can pick their brains on what is what in the region, and seek their counsel before venturing into the wildlands of the future. And my third and most verbose belief, secrets are the blood of mystery. Mystery is the root of fate itself. Every person, every place, all of them have secrets, and this region is no different. It is said that a shrine to Desna was abandoned here long ago. The shrine is supposed to hold a brass pillar engraved with arcana. This may help shed light on the disappearances, or it may hold secrets I could leverage against the world. I will find the pillar and claim what it holds. The disappearances refers to an event in this world.
Yes.
And for instance, I am looking at always accept a worthy task, always lash out before backing down. If I failed, blame it on something else. And for traits, I'm looking at rabble-rouser, extremely respectful of one's betters, arrogant, curious, risk-taker, and gifted.
Nice. Excellent. And since... Alright. So you'll be coming in a little bit later, so that how about we just reserve your description till then, and you can give us a picture of what you look like. But in the meantime, I think we want to do a couple scenes back at camp before we cut over to the duel. Right? Hey, Wreckage. You're playing... Yeah, there we go.
Hi, I'm muted. I wanted to let Mason come in and before we did the duel because it was days away anyway. So I mean, your call, but
Okay.
I feel like the duel is going to be hard to cut away from. So I kind of want to give everybody a chance to play before we go to it. If that makes any sense.
Sure. Let's do that.
I think we should start with the introduction of our sorcerer friend.
Yeah, let's bring in Mason, and the arrival of the caravan of goods.
Oh,
and,
excellent!
people.
I've been waiting for my Avatarian followers to come.
Yeah. So, from the north, or I guess actually from the northwest, you guys see like the tips of the banners of the envoy of troops and support and personnel that you have been writing about for the past month.
It's just Lauren talking. It's Lauren
Yeah, it's
talking,
just Lauren
back.
It's just
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, then we just kind of like smash cut to them making their way into town, right? I just want to say like a nice long establishing shot of like the long convoy of wagons and riding horses and stuff like
This
that.
sounds like a lot of people.
For our size of our fort.
It is. This is like doubles the size of your fort.
No, I mean to fit inside.
It is a lot of people. There's basically like no room left.
nice. I'm sure this guy's really happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go out to greet them.
Okay. Is anyone else?
I am on the parapets barking orders about restructuring, moving things, making room, checking everybody. You know, like the 478 is at the gate, making sure no one is suspicious as they come in the caravan. You know, like very suspicious. You know, it's not like we have full body scanners or take their shoes off for shoe bombs or anything like that. But you know, just to be on the safe side. You know, somebody in a cloak, like dagger in hand for some reason, that type of thing.
I would actually want to convince Father Sortova, remind him of his place as my right-hand man, to wait in the courtyard with me for the emissary to arrive.
Oh, I was going to go out and greet them and bring them to you.
No, I want to meet them all together now. We're all in together.
That's fine.
So that's probably where we start then. Right? Does this sound like something that you would need convincing of? No?
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay, then no rolls necessary. So it was. Okay, cool. So you just convinced them to stay. And like, you know, they come up to the doors. Do you have the doors open for them or not?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, because there's a lot of they all have have you ever described what your banner looks like? Swan?
No, I haven't.
What is it? What are your colors? Is it like black with a white swan on it?
No, that's ridiculous.
Okay. It's white with a black swan on it, isn't it?
It's listen. I happen to know something about looking good. The banner color is black with a gold trim, like square outline around it, and a red swan. And the swan has two heads, like the two-headed dragon of Rogarvia. In fact, the banner looks a lot like the Rogarvian banner.
Just with swans instead of dragons.
Ye olde plagiarization.
I want to remind you that Ronald didn't invent this banner. His great-great ancestor, who was a bannerman, did.
Do I see the bald heads of Abadarian priests speckled in the crowd from my...
Your formal letter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would make sense if they all... I think, well, yeah, but they're
way back to, like, make sure that when, like, the trading lines began...
Did you succeed that roll?
You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was, like, one of the first rolls we made.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, so... They're amongst the group. I think it would make sense for it to be a trio of I'm trying to think of like what the ecclesiastic nomenclature for an Abadarian priest who's like literally cleric, like literally clerk, like a cleric clerk, a clerk.
Yeah, because we talked about how like it was common for like the priests of Abadar to just like work jobs, right?
Yeah.
Like be like traders or like bankers.
Yeah, I think it would make sense that these guys are bankers, at least on the financial side of things. But they're from the capital city, right? From New Svetlana. They came down and joined the caravan on the way down to you guys. Okay. So, I think there's going to be several different welcoming groups then. I think the Abadarians are first, actually, because I think they have religious priority. And, so I think leading, like, making their way through kind of like the initial guards or whatever coming in. Yeah, there's like three... I mean, the best way of describing it would be... they're like extravagant, wearing very like, for as far as like Abadarians go, they're wearing very like religious regalia along their motifs. So like they all are wearing not like pope hats, but you know, like very like elaborate cloaks with like etchings of the key and everything, like all over them, like white and gold.
Did we know
trimmed.
that they were coming today?
Well, you know they were coming, right?
I don't think people send messengers to be like, "Hey, messenger, the caravan's one day behind us."
We would have spotted them ahead of, like, on the distance. It's a plane, so
days.
Yeah,
My question
hours.
is, did I have time to put on the finery that I spent 5 resource points on?
Oh yeah, yeah, you do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No chance you didn't have time to change clothes when I'm like, there's a big crowd of people on
Yeah,
the
they're
right. It's
expected-
probably the people.
So yeah,
An
that
enormous plume of dust beyond that mountain. Yes, okay. So.
Yeah. So these guys are essentially bankers and okay. The best when I say bankers though, what they actually would be, considering your claims and what you're saying, they're more like auditors. So I think that's what their title is auditor.
auditor of the faith.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I
That's
think
so
they're
good.
auditors.
I
Yeah,
will
like
definitely step forward to greet them, and I'm fishing for a doctrine test here. As Swan is like clutching his new book, and says some like passage that's like, "Welcome, friends. You are greeted by this trade post of Oleg's. As we know, peace brings trade, trade brings prosperity, and prosperity brings well-regulated commerce." What my intention here is for them to not be like, this dude's not the chosen one, or something like, this guy's an idiot and doesn't know our stuff. I want to be like, look, I know basic passages that children raised in your abbey do.
Let's make a so this is like a first impression kind of thing.
I need to help with it. I want to help.
You can't help with
being
Yeah,
learned.
you can.
on beginner's luck. You can't.
Yes, you can.
Oh well, I was told that you can't.
What is
You
that?
can't fork, but you can help.
Exactly.
You can also make link tests. So you could tie in if you want. If you don't have doctrine, for example, you could try and link it in, right, and be like, yes, maybe I could. And then if you fail it, it collapses and.
I would like to help, by like I'm wondering if I'm like maybe I'm like correcting like one of like the lines. It's like he like mixed up the order or something, and I like correct that. I
do it privately. Don't undermine me in front of my cool new friends.
No, I know. But it's like I think it's like or no, dude,
Hand me my note cards.
Yeah, no. You know what it is? Is like when you like go out and get ready to speak, I like whisper the passage that you should say into your ear. Like the proper one to greet the auditors of the faith.
All right, sure.
And I would like to help with church doctrine, because I'm guessing that's what we're looking for here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
So, when I'm attempting to learn this, am I just learning doctrine, or am I learning church doctrine specifically?
Are there two different ones? I think it's just doctrine.
I mean, doctrine is a general test, and then there are subtypes of it.
You have to take one of the types of doctrine. Doctrine comes in a number of types. You can either take doctrine, heretical doctrine. There are basically a couple of different ones.
I mean, it says cult, foreign, and heretical, and none of those sound very good to me.
Doctrine is the normal one.
I feel like
maybe the normal one is
Cult,
just
foreign.
I think regular. Yeah, the rest of those are different ones. But
maybe
yeah,
I
the core
just
one.
made up church doctrine then.
What's the difficulty I'm looking at here?
You want to you're just citing a relevant passage from a common religious text, which is an ob 2.
All right, we can do this.
But it becomes an ob 4.
Yeah, it becomes an op 4. That's pretty rough.
You can do it, Swan.
No, I can't.
Did you say you had
But I have a
practiced
6.
something?
I have a 6. Can I spend fate on being learned?
Yes,
Yep.
you can spend fate on being learned.
It goes to your stat.
Oh, so it goes to my perception?
Yep.
All right. Perception. Welcome to Fate Town. Welcome. Don't fuck up.
How did you have 6 dice?
Get right.
Yes.
Because his perception must be 6.
His
Right?
perception
Five.
perception is 5, and I
I have a
gave
helping die.
Oh, and the helping die.
Oh, you don't do the exponent of your stat. You do the stat. Okay.
So you succeed. With spending a fate, you turn the 3 to a 4, right?
Yeah, I try to impress my cool new Abadarian friends. Like, greetings. I am honored by your presence here. And I'm like, what are they called again, Demetrius?
Auditors of the faith.
Your auditor-nesses. I am Count Ronald Swan, the chosen one of Abadar, and several other titles. Instead of listing all of these things, perhaps we could get you some food and water and see that you are bunked and rested. Might you introduce yourselves?
Yes, I think what they would probably do would be something like they'd probably say, "Yes, thank you, Count Ronald. Thank you. It's been our ride has been very well and very easy from the capital. But tell me, where should we be staying? Doesn't seem like there's any luxury here."
I'm afraid that these people have yet to accept the true word of Abadar's calling. They are Arastilian people and live as such. We will do what we can to have more accommodating quarters made for you.
Thank you.
If you have lived so far on the trail, however, I'm sure a few more days of less than what you are used to in the capital will not be too rough on you.
Yeah.
It seems our charge is to bring civilization to this place. It is
That is your particular charge, Father Demetrius.
I was speaking our as in me and the priests of Abadar.
I know. I want to outline that I'm not quite at that level yet.
We were led to believe that this place was a little bit more, for even on the fringes of civilization, a little bit more refined. So be it.
You know how the nobility can be.
Hold on. Why is my PDF not open? Hello?
I want to answer that in character. Just be like, your what? Your hate? Is that some totem of Abadarian faith that I have not heard of before?
Yeah.
Demetrius, what secret is this? The payoff.
Yeah, okay. So, the first one mentions their name is, Fyodor. And he's like, "I am head auditor Fyodor. And I'm here." Are you standing next to him, Demetrius?
I'm standing next to Count Swan.
You are. Okay.
I'm his right-hand man, so I'm standing at his right hand.
Yeah. Ooh. I wonder if he would be I guess he's succeeded. I'm wondering if whether or not Fyodor would be concerned that Asartova is taking orders from a Swan down here. Like this is the way things are done. I think he might mention that, right? I think he actually might mention that. He looks over, he's like, "Oh, what? Interesting." And like he says interesting, but you know what he looks over and sees both of you side by side, and you know exactly where he's getting there.
There are some things that are far more important than the petty rivalries of nobility.
Can I make an Abadar-wise check to see if these guys are members of my particular cult?
Oh, yeah. Like your sect?
Or to make it so even. Yeah, I have Abadar-wise, so.
I mean, that would... Part of me thinks that... I don't know, I don't think you have to roll, honestly. I think that's implied after you were writing to them. I feel like you'd be writing to your sect anyways. I feel like that's all wrapped up together. And yeah, so so remember, these are auditors that are like heavily invested in the throne and seeing Sartova rule.
Right. I'm going to say, gentlemen, it seems we have things that we need to discuss.
Yeah.
A way has become clear to me. Or should I say, it has been made clear.
Yes, that's well and good. Apparently you've gotten the swans on side.
I would say it's the other way around, good priest Theodore.
Perhaps
the swans have got Demetrius on our side.
perhaps we should all go inside and discuss this together.
I'm afraid I'll have to join you at a later date. I must continue to introduce our remaining guests to the fort.
Yes, perhaps we should do this.
If you asked for us to... Oh, okay. I have to think of how they would actually say this in a very formal way. But I would say, okay, Your Eminence, when an audit... Excuse me, sorry. Your Eminence, when an auditor is requested, we're not typically ones to be waited on, and it's usually a priority thing, and, well, if you make us wait, we'll have to charge you. Certainly, Father Demetrius has told you this.
I'm afraid that some matters come even before your faith. The safety of this fort and the lands around it. War is coming. I put my faith in Abadar, and he says that we must bring peace to these people before we can have trade. And is that not what you are speaking of? Trade between my house and your organization. A payment.
Yeah. Can you...
There must be peace before that happens.
Can you actually... can you haggle here?
I can haggle.
Basically, you're saying you're like religiously haggling, right? Like this, you know, they're doing a service and they expect to get charged for it, and you're like, but you're appealing to the nobility of your duty.
Think negotiation.
Yeah, or negotiation probably be the.
Well,
you're actually kind of arguing over prices, though.
Yeah, I think haggling is appropriate. Versus test.
I am going to force.
Yeah, I think a versus test makes the most sense here.
Let's see here. I would love to fork etiquette, persuasion, administration, supplier-wise, court-wise. I think that about sums it up.
And NPCs can't fork, can they?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Well, they get to fork all of those things too, because they're auditors of Abadar.
The auditors of Abadar are, they're going to be helping each other, as well as forking in then persuasion, soothing platitudes, and
Demetrius.
I would like
Abadar.
to,
Hi, buddy.
and
yeah,
Abadar wise.
I would like to help with Abadar wise, by like sort of like telling him like I'll be like. Basically, I like tell him like the there's sort of like a way that you're supposed to go about this negotiation. Like there's like a traditional like opening gambit kind of like way that you're supposed to go about it, and so that's what I'm helping with.
I speak the formal words of negotiation. Merrily, we shall toss the coins between ourselves and divide them up among the people's services. Let us speak now on the matter.
Are we ready?
Yes. I'm rolling against obstacle 1.
Yeah, because the versus test.
Okay. I have 4 forks. I have 3 successes.
That is a lot.
Wow! Holy fuck!
That's a lot of success.
I mean, I don't even think I'm going to bother fading on that.
I rolled 5 6s.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so your haggling will not do. But I think what this actually looks like is a very a lackluster kind of thing. They're like, yes, that's well and good. You can put it on our bill as they go and like get squared away. We'll be sending you a bill at the end.
Shut down.
Yeah, they just completely just shut you down.
I mean, this is somewhat crippling to my newfound faith here, Demetrius. I'm like, listen, we need to do what Abadar says before we start talking about money. And they're like, no, don't worry. We're going to go Ferengi in the corner.
They are kind of Ferengi, but
You will be shocked to discover that the church of most religions are filled with hypocrites.
Yeah, and that and the second part would be, you kind of disrespected them by having them not be priority. I know, obviously, it makes sense though. I know, but then you were like, hold on, I gotta do some other things, and they're like, no, we could do it now.
I sent Father Demetrius to go usher them into their room so that they can bill me for their hourly expenses.
Yeah, I think you hear them being like, yeah, for a chosen one, I expected a little bit more pushback on our offer. As like they like close the door.
I would like to have a scene now. I said that we're like checking everybody as they come in for suspicious activity. So I'll say, you there! You look suspicious. You have the look of a player character about you. Step aside. One moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Mason, just give us a description of what you look like.
So Odin is the TSA, basically.
Yeah.
He's randomly
I'm profiling. This is completely random.
I look for his badge. Does he have a badge?
I got a sword.
Damn. That's fine. That's gonna have to. Actually, that's not gonna cut it. I hope it's not gonna cut it. But yeah.
What's your story, sir?
Yeah. So Mason's like steps aside, and you. Can I like before I address Onan? Can I make like a heraldry check to make sure I don't muck up my address to him?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Like I wear it's subtle on my armor and on my swords and stuff, but I do have signifiers that I am of the House Solston. So if you actually know anything coming out here, you might know that I'm Your Grace Bishop Onan Solston.
Yeah.
See, I was just thinking that. I just wanted to. One, I can maybe jockey for a test here, and two, if not, then I'm totally gonna call you Count Ronald Swan.
Oh, okay. Well, and
that sounds like a pretty good. That sounds like a pretty good consequence.
I like it already.
Right. So I don't have this thing trained, so I'm gonna perception this, I guess.
Yeah. So you're not gonna learn it. You're just gonna perception.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Look at this guy already. I'm gonna start opening things.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah. No, that's totally fine with me. I just wanted to make sure that's what you were doing. Okay.
What test is it?
He's doing heraldry.
Should be a pretty easy heraldry test. The only thing is I don't know if it's going to be Ob 1 or Ob 2 based on how prevalent the Solston name and symbol would be. It's probably.
I'd say, I mean, it is tightly tied to a countrywide religion. So, and also he's coming down here, which means I would even lower the ob just if he did any research in advance at all.
Yeah, exactly. This is the problem. I want to know whether this is a common prominent family or a second tier family. And isn't that the whole fucking crux of our game, isn't it, boys?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fine. It's an Ob 1.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to, just because dice be dicing, I'm still going to jockey for fictional positioning and say that I have served in the wars, so maybe I'm aware of the noble lineage of the Gorham Devout Solstons.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Definite. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's
100%.
100,000%.
Boom. Okay.
Fucking crush it.
Right, yeah. A sign of things to come.
Do you want to ingratiate that perception?
If he wasn't good
Did
at
you open that as learning? Because it didn't double the difficulty.
He didn't learn it. He just took it as a test, a perception test.
Yes.
I mean, it still should double the difficulty, but either way.
He still gets it.
It doesn't matter at that. Jesus. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So I bow, do like a motion of deference, and say, Your Grace, how can I serve you?
Ah, well, looks like someone knows their stuff. You can serve me by saying your name.
I'm called Mason, Your Grace.
My name is Onan Solstand. Apparently you already know that.
I nod.
You can call me Onan.
I will, Your Grace. Onan.
I appreciate your... What's the word I'm looking for? I appreciate your sensitivity to protocol, but on the battlefield there is no time for such niceties. You understand.
I look grim for a moment, and I nod determinedly, like, yeah, I know all too well. I prefer not to know, but I know.
I can see it in you. You've done this before. You've entered an active war zone.
Yes, it is my hope that this will be less of an active war zone, if I am to be honest.
Well, we will most likely be withstanding a siege, though
Oh, good.
some attempts are being made shortly to alleviate that particular issue. You don't look like you're of the rank and file. Tell me more about yourself.
Of course, Your Grace. Onin. Yes. Well, I hail from Restov. I served in the army. I served at the Battle of Three Rivers Trident, and
Three Rivers. That was tales are told.
yes, never on the front lines, I'm afraid. Not much of the blood of a warrior in me. However, I was schooled in the Eldori Academy on matters of war and tactics.
They do good work. How did you serve on the back lines?
Counsel to the general. So.
That is a very admirable position, one that we could do with around here.
I try and stop myself from beaming, but I find it a bit hard, right? Everyone loves to be complimented.
Yes, there has been some disagreement about the tactics as of late. Too many cooks, so to speak, a neutral party to give their educated opinion will simmer things down.
It shall be my pleasure.
I
hold no particular ties to most anyone or anything presently. Being able to offer my services to you would be just what I needed, I think.
Come over here, Mason. The inspections are done. It turns out that there's something that I could use your advice on immediately, even.
I look surprised, but follow.
I will lead him over to the barn where Gares's men are camped and where the 478 have also made bunk.
I'm gonna be start out by mentioning that presently Mason is a they. So I have not yet described how they look, but when you look at them, it's a very genderless face. Also pretty ageless.
Genderless and ageless, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's spooky. I lead you over to basically the camp where the 478 is the ones that are not at the gate right now overseeing the entrance. There's like maybe two of them. I say, we have a bit of a situation, Mason. I've gone and challenged the leader of the bandit horde to a one-on-one fight.
I'm sure the cur will die, sir.
Oh, I would be very sure of that too, except I've agreed to their traditional duel of honor, which involves hunting each other down in the Gnarl Marshes, a place where he has home turf advantage.
I see.
It makes up for my exceedingly superior sword arm.
By what means did he con you into this setup?
It didn't look like I was going to get him to agree to a duel by Gormite or Restovian or Brevoian tradition. I was only going to get this duel if I played it on his terms.
I nod with resignation. I say, yes, I suppose so. Outlaws.
Yes,
We cannot rely on them to follow our laws. We cannot rely on them to follow the codes of honor either.
It's fair enough. It'll be all the more satisfying of a victory when I win, and all the more devastating of a blow to the barbarian horde. Without their leader, and their leader destroyed in such a shameful action, I'm sure the threat to the fort will diminish greatly. And if not, all we've lost is a foolish Gormite who got in over his head. I'd say those are fair stakes, wouldn't you?
I look down, unwilling to acknowledge you referring to yourself as a foolish Gormite, because I think you're baiting me into a trap.
I see that. Sir Onin will remember that you did this. Pops up, Telltale Games. So I would like to discuss my current strategy for overcoming such a disadvantage with you and see if you have any counsel to provide, Mason.
Just want to jump in here real quick. Independent contractor. Someone is asking you to provide advice without actually having provided payment. All right, I'm out. I'm back out.
Well, I should gladly offer my services, Onan. However, I am recently arrived. I barely have a place to sleep, much less, well, anything really to offer you, much less on the situation of the Nile marshes. Maybe if you could inform me as to the situation, I could provide you with my insights.
Well, certainly. The fort is big. There are 4 towers. The palisades are old but sturdy. The majority of the space is taken up by Oleg's home, to which very few of our new arrivals, I imagine, will be invited to stay in. The majority will have to make camp in and around the barn, perhaps even exterior. Of course, someone as valuable as a tactical advisor and experienced on the battlefield, no less, will be given whatever priority he can be given. I and the 478, as you might expect, elect to camp outside, which does free up several of the guest rooms in Oleg's house. I'm sure Count Ronald Swan will be interested in your services as well and compensate you with a nice place to stay, though he does apparently have some guests of his own coming in.
Yeah.
Tactically, I don't think we have room for all of these carts and wagons. I'm going to confer with the others and see if we can't at least align them along the northern wall at the exterior. There is a certain amount of fire hazard that this clutter proposes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just so it's clear, like, I know we're looking at that picture together. That wagon isn't there. A lot of people are sleeping in the stables. Like, the guest house is completely full. There's really... And everyone else is kind of just sleeping in, like, tents and stuff around.
Yeah, and so their wagons full of shit just present even more space taken up.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm proposing moving them outside on the wall that the attack is not coming from, and we can make preparations to bring them inside if the attack should come. But really, they just are kindling, in my opinion, right now. The situation as far as our goals and objectives. 3 of the original expedition carry a charter from the Sword Lords of Restov to take care of the bandit threat here in the Greenbelt. That is the extent of our legal control. Count Ronald Swan, Father Demetrius of Abadarian faith, and myself are the charter holders. We can be considered...
No last name for me?
I don't literally know your last name. Like right there, it says Father Demetrius
of House Sertova.
Oh, Sertova, Father Demetrius Sertova, and myself. There were some headaches between who exactly was in charge of what at first, but we've largely moved past all that. At the end of the day, we are all equally bound to pursue this goal as we see fit. This caravan that you have come in on is a pooled effort. So something that we all are responsible for equally. But Gares's men are sworn to Ronald Swan. The 478 is sworn to me, of course. And Father Demetrius has decided that Abadar is involved with Ronald Swan to some extent. Is there anything else that I can catch you up on?
No, I'm very pleased to hear that you decided to cooperate in this fashion. I lie, completely hating the fact that there is no actual commander.
Don't worry, there is. He's just being very democratic about killing us all equal. Listen, we'll
And,
talk. We'll talk.
And I look to you and I say, yes, I would love to. In fact, it would be my great honor to offer my humble services to 3 lords such as yourselves. You say that a lot of stuff has been transported on the carts. Do you mean to leave the fort anytime soon?
Personally, I'm going to that duel that I mentioned shortly.
I was referring more to the people and the cargo that has been transported here, or is it for use and consumption here on this place?
The standing strategy is to wait for them to come to us and defeat them in a siege.
Very good. In that case, my first suggestion, my free suggestion, says like pointing out that I've not actually contracted anything with you. My first and free suggestion will be to dismantle the carts that you don't need and keep the timber for reinforcement in case of a siege.
Yes, of course. Excellent strategy. I believe Swan is the one working on having sufficient supplies to withstand the siege. So you may want to speak to him about that. It's good to have you here, Mason. It's a pleasure talking with you. If you need anything from me or the 478, or would like to discuss this little duel that I'm going on, do not hesitate to speak up.
Yeah,
I will find a place to lodge your grace, and I will address you later.
Yeah, good, cool scene. Keep in mind, as far as you guys are like, that was good. I like hearing you guys roleplay there. But if at any point there was a point where you're like, hey, would it be possible I could like command him to do something like that or whatever, and like, you know, tell me when you're trying to instigate a roll.
I was not trying to instigate a roll.
Yeah, I know. Okay, that's fair. All right, cool. That's awesome. We're gonna probably do. I think we're gonna do a couple more scenes with the auditors and stuff before we go down and we see the actual predator duel. But in the meantime, though, it's top of the hour, so we're gonna go to our first break. So we'll be back, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.